Today, Precarious plays
Steven Universe, Save the Light.
Oh, small teleportation. That's fine.
Minor teleportation.
Just, I'm not gonna hold that against Connie. She's a busy lady.
Ugh.
Poor Connie. Maybe. Do you think that it's a hint to have the gems together?
No. One thing I noticed about the gems, all of their powers are very expensive compared to the humans.
Mm-hmm.
Humans and half gems.
It's a big whaling stone.
Oh.
Huh.
I don't even know. I don't know how much utility there is in having garnet and amethyst. Just because I feel like until enemies have shields, Connie does a lot of what garnet does.
Yeah.
One thing that I've been sort of sad about is I fell into a pattern of using the 3 humans and amethyst, just because Connie is so great at taking out single targets.
Yeah.
And amethyst and Steven together are fantastic at taking care of groups.
Mm-hmm.
Always wanted one of these.
What question did you have for me?
Oh, I was wondering how much of this game's design is intended to evoke a sense of time and place where this world that this world is supposed to simulate. Because I'm talking about mechanics, right?
Yeah.
So you were talking about how, well, not everybody in the party levels.
It does like the old Final Fantasy thing where people that aren't with you, I don't even think they gain a fraction of the experience that the active group is gaining. It's not even like they level more slowly. I think they might just not level up at all.
And I just said, well, it's so fun to play, I don't really care. But then again, I'm still dreamy-eyed about this whole situation.
It's the honeymoon. It's the honeymoon phase.
Yeah. So I don't think I would care to grind out levels with characters that I wanted to try a new combination with. But I wonder how, when they were designing this game, how much of the mechanics, like how they decided to split the difference between nostalgia and just being better and more modern with different mechanics.
Well, there is. I was thinking about it. I was prepared to denounce it, to decry it outright. But there is a functional purpose to leveling systems, generally, and to not having background characters continue to level up. I did think of a reason for it. If they feel like their characters, the interplay between them, the way that their abilities interact with one another is complicated enough to warrant it, like that would be the reason why you wouldn't want background characters, benched characters, let's say. Characters on the bench. If you are worried that suddenly playing with a level 40 garnet is going to be too complicated to immediately grasp. That would be the reason to restrict those benched characters in that way. I don't agree with that, but I can see the reasoning. I think for that to really hold true, I think if you want to see a great example of what happens whenever you have a leveling system that is really completely integrated with a game and is useful to understanding that game, just try to watch anyone play an MMO starting at like a non... if there are 60 character levels, try watching someone try to play an MMO with a character that's already above level 10, you know? Especially World of Warcraft style MMOs where, like, this is less true of something like, say, Guild Wars 2, where they very purposefully restrict the number of abilities you have. I could see someone sitting down and taking a couple hours and figuring out even a high-level character in that game. Or at least whenever I played it, which was close to launch. It may have become more complicated since then. But I think, like, Final Fantasy XIV, World of Warcraft, there's a great example online, now that I think about it, a specific one. Guild Grumps, the Game Grumps like reality show they did where Ross O'Donovan very cruelly subjects the rest of them to World of Warcraft at a very high level using character boosters. I don't much care for reality style TV, reality style content presentation.
Yeah.
But I do think it's a really good example of the kind of frustration that can happen whenever someone is like, no, look, MMOs are easy, it's like how is it described? Like a xylophone, like a kid's xylophone where you just go do down the keyboard.
I mean, it's not completely unlike that, but...
Well, it doesn't... The funny thing is that a useful tool is to arrange the powers in such a way so that you can do that. Like, there's a kind of logic. So whenever I play World of Warcraft and I was playing as a bear druid, there was... I have a more complicated system of power arrangement in most of the games I play, but there was a temptation to just put Feral Charge on 1. Because it's like, how do I start almost every fight? And it's charging the enemy. So with that in mind, yeah, you can get to the point where you put your powers just in the order, in the rotation that you need. And that is a way to play. But just that lack of understanding it's frustrating to see. It's frustrating for them to have undergone. I
have a question.
Yeah.
That fight was a little closer than I like.
Yeah.
How would you array your team for this area?
I saw that they kept knocking Steven out of Yooka-Laylee.
Yeah, because those spikes hit everyone regardless of who's guarding them. So I had Connie guarding him, and it still hit him. So that kind of shuts down the Amethyst play that I was thinking about doing. Like, do you think that I should change the array of the party?
What I would try to do first is I would see if there's enough time between Steven bubbling himself and then using Yooka-Laylee. See if there's enough time for him to perform both of those actions on Amethyst in the next fight.
Okay.
And I would keep Garnet just because I think that there's a larger, tougher enemy coming up that she can punch down pretty quickly, especially if you got one of those stunning uppercuts off, or her max-powered guard breaker. Everyone will be silent. Everyone will remain silent and standing for probably my favorite character of like my internal hierarchy, tier 2, my favorite tier 2 character.
Okay.
So not a Pearl, not a Connie.
She's your favorite tier 2 character?
I think so. Like, characters that you like, but you don't have like a deep emotional connection to. Like Ronaldo, a lot of the people in the town, right?
Right.
Even Steven. I like Peridot more than I like Steven.
Things are objectively not okay. RPG. This is the most wonderfully subtle hint that this area is a little bit strong. I can't progress. Sometimes you just have to level up your guys before you can move forward. This is
Steven, it's pronounced RPG.
Peridot out. Good talk.
That's so interesting to see because the characters here, they don't lack for emotive power, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot on display visually to demonstrate character. But that little cell phone Peridot, they really cranked it up to 11.
Oh.
Oh, whoa. Did you just save yourself with a double jump? Like, did you slip off and then jump again, I guess?
No, I just had one of those, like, serious, oh, is this, hot spring. I had one of those, I had one of those Smash Bros moments where you're sure you're dead and then you're suddenly not.